Today I got a newsletter to show you. The latest copy of the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition newsletter. Now, there are a lot of people are opposing euthanasia laws. The Maine legislature overwhelmingly rejected the assisted suicide bill that was published May 31st, 2013 from the Bangor Daily News in the state of Maine. Dr. Ann Dorney. And there's a Dr. Peter Saunders. He says if a child, or it says here, a British expert says Quebec bill likely to increase risks. By Dr. Sanders, campaign director at Care Not Killing Alliance in the UK. I got something else over here. Montreal says Toujours Vivant, Not Dead Yet, announced June 12th for initiative to respond to Quebec's proposed law to allow euthanasia of people with disabilities. The initiative is designed to educate the disability community and the general public about the dangers of euthanasia. I hope she maybe does rounds of the hospitals, rehab centers. That'd be good. They have Not Dead Yet representative be able to get around all these places. Because right now, it seems like, well, not just Quebec, but anywhere in U.S., Canada, people are highly impressionable. They want to be what's part of something popular. So they want to jump on the bandwagon. And if all their friends are found to be pro something and they're not pro it, then they're afraid of getting left behind socially. Now, once people really understand how it can be a threat to them personally, people start waking up. Now, I've gone from being pro-euthanasia when Robert Latimer case was on to being totally anti-euthanasia when I found out what happened in Germany in World War II. Yeah, Germany. And of course, the euthanasia movement doesn't want that anybody to even think there's any relationship to it at all. Well, it's like this. The Holocaust started with Operation T4. Operation T4 was the whole euthanasia program. So how can the euthanasia movement in countries around the world right now be able to live with themselves and say, hey, there's no relationship whatsoever? Now, since Hitler in World War II, the euthanasia movement comes on like they're the most caring, loving, socially polite people, and they're just so worried about the pain and the suffering. Well, guess what? There have been cases where people survived a botched assisted suicide, and they lived the nightmares that they were trying to escape having to go through with their end of life situations. And the euthanasia movement, they didn't have any remorse. They had no apologies to make, and they sure as hell were not repentant of what they'd done to some of these people. And even with the suicide bat, they never tell their victims, the ones who get to campaign for their own euthanasia law, or try to get it passed. It's just a suicide law passed. They never tell their victims, their customers, that there is a period where the person is totally restricted from any kind of moves, any kind of being able to get out of the situation. The bag is tied around her neck, and they're tied down and made sure there is no way they can escape. Now, their natural reflex at a certain stage is to get the bag off. But they are not told this. And if they were, a lot of these people would have never opted for assisted suicide. There's a lot of them. But there have been botched cases where they did survive, and they were alive, some of them up to 5-6 days. And that's 6 days of 24 hours a day. That's a really gruesome end of life to have to go through. But the euthanasia movement, they don't care. So they pull out the polls, the pollsters, and they're always doing polls. And the polls are always the stats that they say they are. Well, guess what? When real polls are done, the stats aren't so good. So think about it. And they always, they 30 years they've had all these TV shows, movies, documentaries, comics, talk shows, and it goes on and on and on. Well, guess what? It's time to shut it down. As far as I'm concerned, it should have been shut down 15 years ago. But nope, the gas bags are allowed to continue under the idea of free speech. Well, murder, homicides are not free speech. And they're not debates. See, they always have this idea that the euthanasia, it's just a debate. Well, screw you. It's not a debate. Euthanasia is a crime. And these guys in Quebec are trying to play with people's minds and play with the words out at all the legal technicalities, definitions of words. So guess what? End of life, there's palliative care, where pain management is the course to go with pain management and sedation, but with the intention of relieving the suffering. But these guys in Quebec, they want to use it for a smokescreen to send people over the edge that they don't want taken up a bed, or and supposedly costing the healthcare budget too much. But all this budgetary thing is a part of the eugenics program in every country. When these morons want to control the country or take a country over, two things they attack: the public education system and the public health care system. That's how they go about taking over the countries. Public education, scale it down so people are dumbed down every generation. And then with a healthcare profession, they just cut the budget a little more, till the workers are overstressed. And then they come, and the euthanasia movement comes out with this idea, hey, we got the solution now, we got some laws passed. Hey, now it's just, we just need a bit more money, so let's get rid of a few more patients here in these nursing homes and other places. Just, there's a way to make an accident happen, and you know what I mean? That's my point. It's always been my point. Always will be my point. So let's stop euthanasia. The Maine legislature overwhelmingly rejected the assisted suicide bill. It was published May 31st, 2013 from the Bangor Daily News in the state of Maine. Dr. Ann Dorney. And as a doctor, Peter Saunders. He says if a child, or it says here, a British expert says Quebec bill likely to increase risks. By Dr. Sanders, campaign director at Care Not Killing Alliance in the UK. I got something else over here. Montreal says, Toujours vivant. Today I got a newsletter to show you. The latest copy of the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition newsletter. Now, there are a lot of people are opposing euthanasia laws. Not dead yet, announced June 12th for initiative to respond to Quebec's proposed law to allow euthanasia of people with disabilities. The initiative is designed to educate the disability community and the general public about the dangers of euthanasia. I hope she maybe does rounds of the hospitals